Welcome to another Caring Support podcast. Very excited this week because we have someone on who I think is a real rock star in her world. And for a lot of people who want to know what it's like to work in HR, especially in a very big size operation such as a hospital, and now's your opportunity. So the lovely Eliza is with us. I'm not going to try and pronounce your last name, Eliza, in case I get it wrong. I'll let you do that. But if maybe you could introduce yourself, it'd be great. Thank you.
For sure. Thank you, James. So my name is Eliza Mystille. I'm the manager, Recruitment and Selection at Bruyere Continuing Care, which is a hospital located in Ottawa, Ontario. And I was born and raised in France. I immigrated to Canada back in 2012, studied in communication, HR, and I've always had an interest in communications and law. And I think I found HR to be the perfect combination of both. Um, so I studied, I worked in different environments, both public and private sectors. And I obtained two designations with HRPA, which is a Human Resources Professional Association in Ontario. So I'm a certified human resource professional and a certified human resource leader.
Wow.
And my next goal is to obtain my psychological safety certification. So yeah, I'm always interested in learning more and experiencing and developing new projects and being innovative and creative. So that's a little bit
Wow.
about me.
It can almost encapsulate that and start calling you HRR or HR2,
Yeah.
which is Human Resources Rockstar. Yeah. So, as you know, yeah, you saw the questions ahead of time. So, this is something that's very important because it would have had a big impact in your life. You know how people always look at someone that influences them, maybe mentored or coached them or something like that. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about, who that influential person was that impacted your life and your career, please.
I would have to say, I would have to say my mother. Um, she is a very strong woman, and I made the choice to take a one-way trip to move across the ocean to start something new by myself. And I don't think I would have been able to do that without the proper support. And she raised me so I could be independent, make my own decisions, and at a really young age. And I'm really thankful for her trust and I know she still worries every day. But she's always behind me in all my choice and decisions, and she's very encouraging. And I'm someone who is an avid learner. I'll keep learning. I'll keep pushing my limits, and having someone who is um, understanding, supportive, trying to motivate you to accomplish and reach the star is what motivates me every day. So yeah, no
Awesome.
matter what.
That's beautiful. So, what's interesting though is I know that I was raised by my mother, single mom, and three boys, and I'm the middle one. And I give her huge respect. I may not always agree with things she thinks, but let me tell you, so I think that's beautiful, and thanks for sharing that with us. Okay, so you've had this very big career, focuses on HR, law, communication, recruitment. If someone else was going into this now and you had that opportunity, let's suppose to coach or mentor or influence someone else, what would you recommend?
So healthcare, I think healthcare is its own beast. You shouldn't be afraid of challenges if you're going to healthcare. And although we are facing quite the same staff shortages across, the nation in all sectors, HR is really a tough market and a tough job at this time. Um, I think healthcare sector is bringing humanity. Um, you know, when you make a difference in someone's life and when you can have an impact and give life back to someone. This is meaningful. And also, we work in HR and we are not frontline. We make sure to hire the right people to take care of your loved ones. And it's something that, I always remind my team that we are doing our best so that people can be certain that whoever takes care of their loved ones is the right person. And I wouldn't want just anybody to be at my grandma's bedside to take care of her. And I would want the best, I would want, to know that my grandma is taken care of by, somebody who cares, who have empathy, and who loves her or his job. And when you have the possibility to help make that choice, I think it's extremely rewarding. And every day I know that I make a difference. And I think that's what motivates me.
Wow, that was beautifully said. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I mean, and you said a lot of words that I personally love about empathy and stuff like that, and for instance, our business, Caring Support, we're a purpose-driven company, and we're always trying to think and innovate. But at the end of the day, we know it's not about money, it's not about that. It's about how do we help? How do we do things that can make a difference in other people's lives and help them in so many different ways, and obviously in recruitment, but certainly in other aspects too. It's partly why we do podcasts, because we want, to bring value to people's lives. So, excuse me. So the most important lesson you've learned in your journey, and maybe you can kind of combine that with that first question, if you don't mind, please.
Sure. You never stop learning. I think you always need to keep an open and curious mind, no matter your job title. So when you're a leader, trying to stay open, learning from your team, learning from your peers, and be curious. Yes. I don't think I have all the answers, and I'm always learning every day from my new hires who tell me, oh well, we do this like this, giving me feedback on how to improve our processes and things. So and we always try to keep that in mind and take this into consideration when we are implementing or improving our processes. So it's
That's
really
good, and you
important
have
to.
to. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to. It's an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
It's the same. Yeah, like we built our platform all throughout the pandemic, but in the process of doing so, we learned so much as we were working with so many different types of healthcare and wellness facilities, and just learning. Okay, yeah, we can respond to that because we're nimble in that regard. We have that ability to say, yeah, we could do this, or let's work and with these guys, but we can also come back and be that objective viewpoint that says, have you thought about doing this? Because it's kind of like someone that walks in your space and at home and says, hey, James, you ever thought about putting drapes up there? And then you're like, oh my God. You know what I mean? I never thought of that. Right. So
Yeah.
because we're always in there every day.
Yes.
And it's kind of like that, so you kind of, when you were talking about some of the things, I think what was really great in Eliza is, obviously you're not only good at what you do, but you enjoy what you're doing and you like where you work. And that's really key, obviously, because we live in a world where so many people are not happy with their work, which is a shame. But, from your perspective, what makes Bruyere such a great place to work at?
I think Bruyere is a unique workplace, and I think I'm not sure if you know the difference between acute care, subacute care. So acute care would have usually an emergency room. We would have surgery and versus subacute where it would be more into uh, restoring independence functions, providing
Right.
patients with a bridge back home. So it's what we specialize in at Bruyere. We are really in a subacute care hospital, and we do restore independence and function and providing patients with a bridge back home to go back to their home. It's something that we don't think a lot of when we think about a hospital, but it's something that I always enjoy watching when a patient comes in a wheelchair and goes back home walking. And, although, it's dying, but he's able to go back home, independent. And, he's going back to, to regular things. It's always rewarding. And we have time to, develop connection with our patients. We have time to really get to know them and see them evolve and make progresses and encourage them. I think Bruyere is really a place where connection matters, and we do care about our patients and their well-being. I think we have a little bit more than 2,500 staff across our campuses in Ottawa, and it's a beautiful thing to see our staff caring and engaging each day with our patients, and yeah, it's really something to see and an experience, I would say. And it also has this warm welcome, like kind of a family welcome. And I was walking in the hallway to have it would feel like I'm somewhere where nobody knows each other. It's something special, and I think everybody who joins there is going to feel that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So,
That's great. Okay, so as someone who had immigrated to Canada from France, and the thing is, Eliza, we're going to be building an immigration channel this year, and for some people on our platform, myself, Joe, and others, we love helping immigrants, and it's something we love to do in our community, in London, Ontario, and we hired immigrants in caring support as well. And what I love more than anything is when they share their story. And I tell people, wow, just what they've gone through many times, you're like, that is so beautiful. And then I often say that so many I've met have this real desire not only to be here, obviously, but to work and to contribute and want to be involved. And so I think that's obviously really important. So what advice would you give to immigrants? Because obviously you guys are looking at some to hire, probably hired some, but from your own personal experience, that would be great, please.
yes. I think I would say, do not hesitate. And I think it's something that I keep reminding people if they are certain and say it's a big move. It is. You're moving to another country. You need to reestablish and spend a day and go through tons of paperwork. But it's worth it. It is. I took a one-way trip, and with the intention of staying, and here I am. It's Although I cannot say that it was easy. It's true that my first 2 months I got sick, and I was in a new country, didn't know how working, where to find doctors, and I was kind of lost, and I think. I was an international student, so I wasn't sure, who to reach out to, and I was kind of lost. But at some point, you find the resources, to make it. It's you find the perseverance, the resilience, and you eventually make it. It might take some time, and sometimes you will say, "Why did I come to Canada? Why is it so cold here?" During the winter. But I think you start enjoying it at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to thank you for sharing that, because your own personal experience is huge. I often say that, and you yourself said it, that one of the things that's a common bond with a lot of immigrants is a lack of confidence because they often come into a country where they may not know the language well at all, and no friends, sometimes no family. Everything's new, everything's scary. And I say, well, how confident would you be? So I think it's really important that we help people in our community, and and this is something as we're working on designing what our immigration channel was like, we knew it was so important was how do we connect and how do we provide value and how do we help with immigrants getting that level of confidence that would come from settlement agencies, et cetera, being able to promote them and let them know that who they are as people beyond what we always see as a black and white resume, right? So yeah, speaking of recruitment, so you work with a variety of tools, ATS, various job platforms, and and posting in your own website, of course. But obviously, you work with us at Caring Support, and as we continue to grow and work in this project together, I would love to get just a bit of feedback. What do you think of the platform so far? Uh, and there's obviously we've got a few questions related to that. Say, what do you like most about it? What would you like to see added to it?
Sure. All right. So, um, about the platform, I think the platform is easy to learn and navigate. It's really user friendly, visually appealing and intuitive, and I think that's really helpful for both the employer and the candidates. And I think I like the fact that it's a platform dedicated towards the healthcare sector and targeting healthcare workers. And I think that's where you really differentiate yourself from other competitors and platforms. And because you are targeting healthcare workers in the healthcare sector, you are able to ask specific questions to the candidates, which facilitates in the end the employer's work to try and find the best candidates. For example, you will be able to add questions around the shift types, the availabilities, the kind of skill set that the candidates possess, and they are able to to check, and select which position we are trying to fill, and we have all those skills that are attributed to this position. And I think, it's easy for the candidate to show their skill set when they're able to just click instead of, having to think about, okay, yes, I put this skill set, and then put it in a resume. So I think it's a great way, to get things easier for both the candidate and the employer.
Yeah, thanks, Eliza. And you know what? I want to say that we really appreciate when people like you of your caliber or say the nice things about our platform. Because sometimes, when you got all the devs and the UX, UI, and everything happening in the background, they're not aware. And I'm always sharing stories, but I'm going, yeah, I'm just going to point to this and say, watch Eliza, what she says. See, you guys are on the right track. You're doing good work. And and they know, but it's always great when you hear it from people that are using it and saying, hey, you know what? We know this is constantly something that we're evolving because for us, it's important to constantly learn, just like you were talking about, and to apply that and learn what our clients need, want, how they work, understand their workflow, everything, so that if we're going to be part of the ecosystem, we need to bring value to your world too, right? So, Eliza, this has been really great. I don't see enough of you. I know you're busy. Love to see more of you because I just love who you are. I always like your beautiful demeanor. It's wonderful. And outside of my last favorite question that I love to ask, which is, what's it like being awesome? No idea. Okay, I guess it just comes natural, right? But the thing is, anything else that you would want to say for the benefit of our audience or to Caring Support or anything like that?
Um, I think if I had suggestions for Caring Support would be expanding our candidate pool, And I think particularly in the Quebec province, where we want to reach out to francophones and make sure that they know we exist. So yes, and I think more automation around features on the platform. Thank you for the opportunity, James. It was really nice.
Yeah, it was our pleasure. And yeah, so Eliza, thank you again for participating. It was wonderful. Bruyere is a wonderful operation. It was nice to get your perspective on it, not just your own story, but the wonderful things that are happening at Bruyere. And I think what was so wonderful, and from our point of view, it's really nice to hear you talk about, despite all the stuff that's going on in your world, you realize that the true care of your patients and what happens in the transformation to them getting back to health, proper health is really paramount and really all that matters. That's beautiful. I mean, that's really wonderful. So I want to thank you.
Maybe I can touch base on one more thing.
Sure.
That really made a difference for us. It's the Community Commitment Program for nurses. It's a program which provides a $25,000 to eligible nurses who would like to have a 2-year commitment to work full time with us, and it's a program that is funded by the government. And thanks to this program, we were able to hire and attract, I think, 38 so far nurses, and which means that we will be able to, give more than $1 million to those nurses over 2 years. And we keep hiring thanks to this program. So if people are interested, we still have a few positions left, and it would be great to give more money to nurses.
Excellent. Yeah, relocation and things like that. And anything that makes it easier for folks to make the commitment. And I could tell you, my main business partner, Joseph, and I were there about 4 months ago or something. We met with a couple of your colleagues for coffee, which was awesome. I loved it. And next time I'm up there, I hope I can meet you. It would be great.
Yes.
Yeah, and share some laughs and just see what life's like for you. But I want to thank you, Eliza, very much. This was wonderful. It's nice to get to know you better. And we wish you the very best as we continue to work together and work to help you in your needs and to find these rock star nurses for you, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Until we see each other again.
Bye.